Afternoon, everyone. Oh, come on, give us a bit of life, laugh. Afternoon, everyone. Okay, well, first of all, my name is Hyde, and I'd like to say a very, very special thank you to the British High Commission for giving me the opportunity to share a keynote address with you today. It's kind of a full circle moment for me, and you'll find out shortly why. First of all, I'd like to kind of address those in the room that are probably in the same place I was about 10 years ago, where you're thinking, should I move? Should I not? Should I do it part-time? Should I fully commit? Or should I just go back and forth and see how it works out? Was that it showed me, like many of you in this room today, is that there is a need for a change. This can't be the end of my story. You see, I taught for many years in the UK, and I'm one of the people that will tell my students, you can be anything you want to be. Until one of them who I put on detention said, but what about you, miss? And I was like, see you on Monday? Then I realized I'm not taking my own advice. So how do I become the best version of myself? Now, the only way I could is to connect with storytelling. And my experience with storytelling came from when I was a child. You see, in my household, every Friday, my mom gathers me and my siblings, we sit in her room, we have ice cream, and she tells us these amazing stories about her growing up. You see, one of her most favorite stories, and if you've got a Ghanaian parent like this, then I know you're a real one. You see, my mom used to walk about 4 days to school just to fetch water, and she used to beat lions, and she used to almost have a little Avengers moment. Then when she gets the water, she showers, get ready for school, studies, and then comes back, washes up clothes by hand because the washing machine just won't do it. You see, my mom's a superhero. I don't know if you guys know it, but she's the original superhero. Why? Because she gave us these stories every week. She told us different variations, different foods, different places we would go, different types of people would meet. She made Ghana sound like a dream world, that anything is possible. And why it was so powerful is she didn't know that her stories were sowing a seed in my life. Every day, the older I became, I'm still young, but the older I became, I kept on feeling that there was more. I just need to work out how to find it. So one day I packed my bags and I thought I was coming on holiday, and I ended up not going back for another 7 years. I know, I feel a midlife crisis. But it worked out by God's grace. And why I'm saying this is because I had no plan, but I did have a dream. And I saw people like Jackie Appiah, Yvonne Nelson, Genevieve Naji. These were some of the icons of our media industry, especially in film, Bollywood and Nollywood, dominating the screens. And I thought, well, if they can do this with no structure, not a lot of investment, then maybe I can act too. I went to MTV and tried to act on MTV Sugar. I was terrible. Let me tell you this now, I'm not an actress. That's the one thing I found out. But what I did discover is that as a teacher, my passion for education led me to study journalism. And I started writing for Forbes Africa, and I started meeting more amazing superheroes like my mom. Not as amazing as her, but close. Through the entrepreneurship stories I covered, through the TV shows that I developed, I started realizing that there's some amazing people in Africa that are doing things in their different countries, all from the diaspora and some of them homegrown. And this is what made me realize there's a world that I've been sold that is not totally accurate. You see, when I used to be in London and I would watch visuals of the country Africa, because it wasn't actually separated to different countries and different cultures and different flavors. All I ever saw was mud huts, children with kwashoko, flies. Nothing was very sexy or glamorous at all. But the Africa I was living was the one my mother told me about. And frankly, she's never been wrong in her life, don't quote me on this, but she's never been wrong. And on this one, I could definitely back her on that. I saw an Africa that made me fall in love and realize a potential I didn't know I had. And if I was able to just package this little world I've discovered and do what my mom used to do every Friday night in that bedroom with my siblings and ice cream to the rest of the world, I would be able to show them a new version of Africa. With all my stories I wrote at Forbes, it had to start off with a dream. And that's what Young, Famous and African, which is Netflix's first unscripted original, became. You see, I remember having conversations with my friends and telling them what I wanted to do, and they told me it was impossible. I remember when we started Aim High Africa, which is my foundation, which has been running for 10 years. The goal is to give people who don't really have as much economic power opportunities through education and entrepreneurship. And now we have branches in Nigeria, Ghana, and we're now expanding to South Africa. This is impact, but there's also a personal dream. Why I'm sharing all of this with you is because if you sit at this crossroad of change and pivoting, and you're not sure what it looks like, I can guarantee you, you are not going to find the answer still not being sure and not moving. But I have to give you some sensible steps. And why I just want to do that briefly is this. If you come up with a dream to Ghana, to Nigeria, to whatever country in Africa you decide to move to, if you don't have a why, you will not survive. Why I say this is because when you go to the third shop looking for almond milk, and you just want a chocolate croissant and they tell you there's nothing on that menu, but they say please and thank you more times than Jesus would even say it, you're going to need your why to come back into that room and give you strength. But what it will do as well is it will remind you of what your purpose is and why you're making this huge move in your life. You see, storytelling is not limited to just the media sector, which I am in. It's not limited to TV shows. It can be done in the banking sector, it can be done in farming and agriculture, it can be done in so many different ways. It can even be done as a personal brand and as a person that you represent as an individual. But in order for you to exist and actually make an impact in any of those fields, you have to think about what is the narrative that I'm here to promote. You see, this all started with me just trying to prove to the rest of the world that my mom told me some really cool stories, and I think she was right, because those CAFOD adverts was just not cutting it. But in reality, you all have your own narrative, your own journey, your own moment that has made you almost ring like that bell or whatever he dropped to go, look, this is not how it's going to go for me. You see what I did there? You're all going to have that moment. If you haven't already had it, you're here because you're looking for it, or something in your system is telling you there's more. And I want you, when you do have that moment, to say, well, what is the narrative I'm going to tell? What is the story that I'm going to represent? If it's not through your business, if it's not through your personal story, if it's not through the people you interact with, it's not a performative thing. It happens every day in every communication and every interaction. I'm also going to then move you on to the next stage in terms of your target audience. Again, this is not just for media. You see, your target audience will be your tribe. It will be your community. It will be the people that actually connect with what you're here to do. Something that they said on the previous panel was how important relationships were and community was. Because in reality, a single drop of water will not do anything. But it's the power of community that really turns it around. And although you're at a brilliant networking event, sometimes the community won't even look like the big chairman or chairwoman. It could actually be your friend that was nearly having a nervous breakdown about the almond milk running out, and them saying, but I can give you soup. But it will work. Why I say that is because my co-creator, Martin Asari, is sitting in the audience. And I remember going to him and saying, look, I have an idea. And he is tired of my ideas, but I said, okay, what does this look like? And because he believed in that idea and worked with me, we created Netflix's first unscripted original. But you see, once you've identified your target audience, you need to look at your main characters. I'm using media language, but as I keep reminding you, it applies in every area. In banking, who are your clients and who are your potential leads? If you're looking at agriculture, where is the land? What is the produce that you're going to look at? You see, the main characters are not only the people, but it's also the institutions that can support you, the structures and systems that are in place to make it work, or even potentially the gaps within those things that you are actually going to be the cog that makes the machine turn and do something that nobody's ever seen before. But if you pay attention to all of these key components, you actually are able to harness a story with your own life, your own fingerprint. But more important than all of this, because I'm a bit of an emotional one, I'm sure you can tell. What is your emotional connection? When you find your tribe, why should they listen to you? Why do you connect with them on a deeper level? You see, I've seen a lot of people look for funding and investment for their startups and their business ideas, and they walk away, not because they don't have a good proposition, not because their institution wasn't able to support them, but more importantly, there was no connection that was established that made them believe in what you believed in, or have an alignment in both visions and expectations and potential deliverables. So it's not just about having the big dream, there's more to it. And you have to find out, well, why? What is my emotional connection? What problem am I trying to solve? What value am I trying to bring? What impact am I trying to make? And what change will come? If it's about fame and hype, let me bite this again now. Just let it go. You need substance and roots that go deep to make this really work for you. But I can guarantee you, if in Christmas, in dirty December, you are all sitting here, I believe we're kind of on the right track already. Because we really could be in a club right now doing the most. You know that it keeps going all day, 24/7, right? And why I'm mentioning those two is if we look at even Ghana. You see, when we look at the year of the return, we told the world we were open and we were ready for them. And we created an initiative that made the world feel welcome to come home. And that was able to transform a level of our economy, that was able to give us a new narrative, and that was able to make Ghana open for business. That is the power of a story. So if you think about it as a country even, we're already in motion. But I'll just say one last point, and this is probably the most important one of them all. You're not here to sound or be like anyone else. There's no right or wrong way of navigating this. The only thing you can do is be your authentic self. Take your weaknesses and take your strengths and let them guide you on the right path. If I wasn't honest with who I was, I would be acting badly in a certain Nollywood or Bollywood film. And trust me, there are some people that are still doing that. And I love watching them, let me just be honest. But at the same time, that could have been me. But in reality, I was able to authentically own my strengths and my weaknesses and grow from the original dream and evolve into what it has been right now by God's grace. So my encouragement would really be, don't look for a copy and paste model. It's important to know the difference between what's going on in the diaspora, what you can bring here, and vice versa. But try not to just copy and paste, because there's a unique fingerprint that you have. There's a unique path and story that you own, where your answer and your plan and your vision and the reason that you are considering this change is calling. And it starts with your authenticity. That can't be replicated, it can't be duplicated, it can't be imitated, but more importantly, it is for you alone to discover. So I hope when you hear my little story about why I'm really here and how cool this is, I'm gonna send a video to my mother. I think it should encourage you all. If you're at that crossroads, just do it. It's not gonna be easy, it's not gonna be a walk in the park, but I can sit here as someone at least over 10 years in. It's been life-changing. It's grown me in ways I didn't even know I needed. And frankly, it was the best move I made of my life. So if you have a story to tell, I recommend you get started now, guys, because I am waiting. And we might be able to do something together about it. What do you think? Yeah. Thank you, guys. It's been an absolute honor. Have a nice afternoon.
So we say a big